Welcome back. Listen, folks, if we're coughing and sneezing with allergies, maybe we're noticing the same thing in our pets. It can be, you know. Dr. Stephanie Wolf is back with us, local veterinarian. Allergies in our pets.
Yes, it happens just like us. You whip out the Kleenex, it's time for the runny eyes, the runny nose, the sneezing, the feeling fatigued, maybe some itching. And your pet can have the same thing.
Cats and dogs?
Cats and dogs,
Okay.
yes, absolutely. So it's not just as simple as you hand them an antihistamine or you're taking over-the-counter something and you feel better. Some of these animals actually have really deep-seated allergic problems, and some of them are actually genetically imposed depending on what your breed is. So that's something else that when you get a new animal, you really want to investigate what type of allergies could these animals be having. They can range all the way from food allergies to intestinal problems that may manifest themselves as some vomiting and diarrhea. You think maybe he ate something that it just didn't agree. And really, there can be some really pretty deep-seated underlying issues. Some of them need to be treated with special diets, with all sorts of food elimination tests, that sort of stuff. Not to mention your fleas, your mosquitoes, your flies. And those sorts of parasites can actually cause your animal to have a full-blown allergic reaction.
Wow.
So it is something that you definitely need to pay attention to, and you need to be mindful that they can have anaphylactic reactions just like we do. They can get that from vaccines. They can get that from food. They can, I mean, not a full-blown anaphylactic from food, but, you know, bug bites and any of that sort of stuff. So it is something we need to take seriously. It's not as simple as just, hey, they're just coughing and sneezing.
If you have, let's say, a 2-year-old dog, and you never have experienced any allergies, can they develop allergies?
Yes, they can.
Okay, so
yes,
that can change later in life.
They can start with something very mild, maybe just a little, you know, scratching around the neck. And, you know, a year or so later, they can come in with full-blown ear infections and skin infections and all sorts of stuff like that. And it's not just, oh, my dog got a simple ear infection. Sometimes there's a really bad underlying reason for why they seem to be plagued with these consistent problems that maybe a dog who lives, you know, 2 blocks down doesn't seem to have. Your location also makes a difference. Some animals that live up in the North Towns area may be somewhat more affected by whatever they're allergic to than, say, if they take them to Florida or they go down south, or even if they relocate to a different area of New York State. Sometimes that makes a difference as well. So you have to kind of be aware that some of these problems will need to be addressed by your veterinarian, obviously. But it's not always so simple as just saying, it's just a little scratch, must be nothing. Because it can develop and it can intensify over time, for sure. Now, we have some phenomenal treatment modalities nowadays.
That's the good news,
Yeah, that's definitely the good news. So these things are often very eminently treatable, but you really got to go down that diagnostic pathway. It's not a good idea to just, you know, kind of cut to the chase and figure, I'll give them Benadryl and that'll take care of it, because it may very well not. And if they've developed a secondary infection secondary to the allergies, say your Benadryl and those sorts of things really won't even do anything.
So maybe you know, when you take them in, you might be giving them a blood test to check for some of these things?
So some of these things you're going to be looking for if you're going to do skin allergy testing. There's blood allergy testing. There's obviously just empirical therapy if you choose to use, if your veterinarian chooses to use some sort of immunosuppressives. They come in orals, they come in injectables, et cetera, et cetera. There's just a whole wide variety. You can do food elimination trials, all sorts of stuff like that. And I think we forget, it's not just as simple as, oh, must have gotten a bug bite, has an itch. It's going to be the end of it. Sometimes it does stretch a little bit deeper. And like I said, depending on what breed of dog you have, one or the other may be more predisposed to something like that as well.
They can't tell you. So what you want to do is make sure that you're constantly going in, at least for a wellness check, and check for things like this.
And do your preventative. So make sure your flea and tick control, everybody, is on board now. It should be on board year-round, but if you haven't done it, get started now.
This is the time.
This is the time to prevent things from taking place down the road.
Weather is good, bugs are out.
That's right.
Dr. Stephanie Wolf, thank you so much.